Colonization never ended in the white supremacist system. And as we see today, the colonization is in the mind. Now, those who have been enslaved and those who have been colonized, we're still dealing with the remnants of that through the colonization of the mind. Pick up my book, 7 Steps to Decolonize the Mind, and we will help deprogram you from the colonization that was put upon you by generations and generations of white supremacy. You can pick it up today on Amazon.com. So Springfield Police Department race soldier Aaron Paul Nichols, he's 46 years old, he resigned following the exposure of a multitude of white supremacist social media posts. Now, a group called the Anonymous Comrades Collective first exposed him, leading to an investigation by his own department. Now, Nichols had made posts about harming, black and Jewish people, writing racial slurs in his messages, made several white supremacist references, and even wrote that Hitler did nothing wrong. And I quote, "N-words ruin everything. If it's white doing the stealing, they're likely selling the meat to black-run restaurants or trading it to N-words for dope. Real talk." Now let's stop right there. N-words ruin everything. When these people talk about us like that, ladies and gentlemen, they are projecting. Let's call it what it is. Y'all ruin everything, the white supremacists. You have ruined everything. You have ruined the water. You have ruined the air. You have made animals go extinct that was here for thousands of years. Y'all did that just for fun. Y'all made people go extinct like the Tasmanians, just to pop in my head, right? Y'all had the most worst, brutal slavery ever that came to the earth. Y'all did that, okay? You sit up here, you drop bombs in people's nations. Then when the people want to come over here, you tell them, why don't you go ahead on and stay in your own country and fix your own country that you ruined? When you have even the cartel violence that happens, y'all involved with that too. You remember Gary Webb exposed about all the crack cocaine and all that mess got into the black communities through he exposed the CIA at the time. And he committed suicide by shooting himself 3 times in the head. That's how he committed suicide. Yeah, he was white. So it don't even matter if a white person put out the truth about what's going on, right? Y'all will take out a white person in a minute and won't even think twice about it for going against racism, white supremacy. No, y'all ruin everything. And what's happening right now is that your world is spiraling out of control. It's spiraling out of control because you think that you're going to have this world the way you have it set up and it run perfect for 1,000 years more. Do you really think that was about to happen? When you have a racial caste system where you just get to enjoy the world and everybody else has to fight for resources, whatever, you think that's really going to last forever? No empire in history lasts forever. Many empires have came, many empires have went, and yours is coming to an end. This is why, talking about ruining everything, look at all the crime all over America. Crime is through the roof in America right now. It's because of what you chose to do during the pandemic. You chose to shut everything down. Your people did, okay? Ruining people's businesses, taking people, losing their jobs, everything that you chose to do, because that's your people chose that, not black people. We don't run into that, right? And after this thing supposedly trying to be over, look at what's happening. Crime through the roof, inflation through the roof. Y'all did that, not us. Like, what are you talking about? Stealing? Nobody can steal more than y'all. Nobody. You're still stealing to this day. Stealing people's resources, stealing people's ideas, stealing people's inventions. You're still doing it. Somebody come up with a great invention, and it may not be like the ones here, but we talking about the global system of white supremacy. One of y'all will go and take that person out so they won't touch your money. You know how many people have came up with ideas about running cars on water? And every time the person come up with that idea, Something happened to him mysteriously. Remember the young brother in, I think, Zimbabwe that figured out how to power a TV from electricity from the air? All of a sudden, he got poisoned, fighting for his life. Amazing, isn't it? Every time somebody come up with something great, but them folks that steal his invention, and then, hey, look what we came up with, y'all. And now you're going to get the trillions of dollars that should have went to the little young brother. Ain't nobody do more than y'all, please. So don't ever let them white supremacists come up to you and tell you anything about stealing, killing, destroying, crime, and anything else. Now continue. This particular race soldier, see, this race soldier, this is what we talk about, the race soldiers. The whole entity of the race soldier is corrupt. It came from the slave patrol. This is the modern day slave patrol. Nobody could deny that. And even when you have a quote unquote good police officer, because if that good police officer say, hey, we got white supremacists in the ranks. Hey, this person's planting drugs on people. Hey, this person is abusing people. Those police officers will get harmed, some of them. Yes, they even harm them. Some of them cause them to lose their life. That's happened too. They get fired. It don't even matter the color, because they want to protect that entity of white supremacy, because that's the enforcement wing of white supremacy. This is why you see this sick allegiance by them folks to the police. It's because they understand they're the enforcement wing. If they don't have the enforcement wing of white supremacy, then they know they're in trouble. They know that. Now, it was also this white supremacist here on the police force was first identified last Thursday. It said the group previously helped Huffington Post in its report, first identifying Andrew Cesarez, the leader of a Dylann Roof worshiping neo-Nazi group. Now, that last name, that's a Hispanic last name. And let's talk about that too, because you have a lot of white supremacists identifying Hispanics that has come into this country. And in some of their countries, the white-looking Hispanics give hell to the darker-skinned Hispanics, those who may look more indigenous, those people, or even up to the black people themselves. If they look more closer to white or Spaniard, let's say that, Spaniard, you know, with the white skin, the green eyes, the blue eyes, the blonde hair, then in a lot of these Latin American countries, they're treated a lot better. And the darker peoples are treated, you know, horribly, if you pay attention to that. Matter of fact, I want y'all to pay attention to something. The quote unquote illegal immigrants that come across that border from south of the border, look at their skin tone. I want you to really look at their skin tone. Is it the white looking Hispanics that's trying to come over? Or is it the darker looking Hispanics trying to come over? Pay attention to that. I want y'all to just pay attention to the ones that's coming over. Because see, they treated real good in Latin America, the whiter looking ones. Because the Spaniards set up that same white supremacist system in that too. And even though the Spaniards are not there colonizing anymore, they still have this strong anti-black colorism crap in Latin America. So when they come over here, and because they want to assimilate into white supremacy, some of them, they want to join with the real white supremacists. Say, hey, you know, I don't like them Negroes either. Shoot, I'm joining with you. But then the time comes, the real white supremacists check them and let them know, nah, you're not one of us. Don't get it twisted. But continuing, this dude was the leader of a Dylann Roof worshiping neo-Nazi group. It said Nichols left a trail of breadcrumbs. It said leading to the unmasking. It said including sharing his details about his family, his time in the police force, and his location. Now, several racist posts under the Twitter name SPD584 were traced to a Periscope account with the same handle, in which included his full legal name. Researchers were able to connect the Twitter account to an account on a far-right social media website, Gab, with the same name. Let's say on Gab, where extremism and white supremacists proliferate. It said Nichols shared a photo of his partially obscured face in one of his anonymous posts. See, some people say, why these white supremacists want to be police officers? Because if they harm you and they're not a police officer, then they can get hit with hate crimes. okay, by federal hate crimes. So the best way to hurt and harm black people, ruin black people's lives in a way, shape, form, or fashion is becoming a cop. Because anything you say as a race soldier, the majority of white society is going to believe you, okay? Because a cop's not going to lie, because they think that, I guess, the cops is like, next to God himself, so they don't lie, right? You can beat black people, you can shoot black people, you can maim black people, you can plant drugs, you can do all kind of things to black people, and you're protected with qualified immunity. Or, another word to say qualified immunity, you got a green light to harm these Negroes. That's what really qualified immunity means, okay? Because notice, they don't, target other white people like that. Notice they don't target Asians like that or Arabs like that. You notice they don't target them like they target black people. See, if they were doing the same thing to everybody, then that would be a different conversation, right? But they do it to black people. You tell me why black people are so mass incarcerated? Because black people is targeted for that. You understand? And as long as you live in a system of racism, white supremacy, we are all targets, all of us. It don't matter how much money you make at all. Because some people think that, oh, well, this person made money. Look, Oprah Winfrey, what are you talking about? Oprah Winfrey don't have a problem with the police. Oprah Winfrey could be taken down tomorrow. Michael Jordan could be taken down tomorrow. A black man that got $1 billion is not the same as a white man with $1 billion, because a white man got white skin, and that covers everything for him. Okay, even if he was poor. Listen, a white poor person in this country got more social capital and privilege than Oprah Winfrey could ever have with her money, or Michael Jordan, or anybody else. Okay, the only time black people have any kind of, let's say, privilege or something equal to what white folks have is in Africa. You would never have that here. As long as these white supremacists run this country, you'll never have it. Sure, my ancestors built this country. You doggone right my ancestors built this country. But my people don't run this country. That's the problem. You will never have peace in a white supremacist run land. Every time I talk to black people, no matter where they come from, those of you in the comment section, you let me know. Every time you get out of the West, what happens? You get peace all of a sudden. You notice that? You don't have the stress. You don't have all this agitation that you have when you're in the West. And when I say the West, I mean all the countries that they control, the white supremacists, all their countries. Even if you go to the Caribbean, okay, go to the continent of Africa, places that we run. No, of course, I'm never saying, I've seen people say, oh, well, he acting like it's so perfect. I never said that. Every country got a problem. Every country got a problem. And some of the problems in black nations has been caused by the white supremacists in the West. When you start doing the research. But at least you got more of a peace of mind. Listen, it's a peace of mind knowing that you're not gonna be targeted by a freaking race soldier. No matter what African country you go to, you don't have to worry about, well, the police gonna mess with me because I'm black. That is a relief in itself. And some of you don't even know how that feel. Some of you don't. You don't know a day without worrying about a race soldier or some racist at a freaking grocery store or a doctor's office or a hospital or wherever they at. You don't even know how that feels. But the moment you get a taste of that, of knowing how it feels to not to even be around that environment, that's when you're like, oh man, I don't want to be around that no more. Some of you that be speaking up against a lot of times what I'm saying when I say that about the continent sometimes, I know you haven't had a taste of it. Because once you get a taste of it, it's going to be something you want to just have all the time. You say, man, how could I get more around that? Listen, I don't need nobody to give me nothing when I go to the African continent. I don't need that. Look, peace of mind is just good enough for me. I can do good on my own. Listen, if I can do good on in the midst of a war zone against my people, I can do very well in a peaceful place for me. That is just that simple. The race soldier issue is cultural. It is a culture that they have taught, And they have been teaching this culture for a long time. And it's not going to stop. As long as they run it, it's never going to stop. Whatever laws they come up with, oh, well, we can get with laws against that. Who's enforcing the law? The same people that caused the problem. They're not going to enforce the law. They never do. You think all this police brutality is like the law? No, they got laws against that. Notice when black officers do something, they get arrested just like this. All of a sudden the law works. Why? Because they enforce it on black police officers. But them white ones that do all the dirt they do, there's so many laws against that. They don't have to write no new laws. They don't even have to write listen, I'm telling you, they really don't even have to get rid of qualified immunity like talking about. They got laws on the books against everything they're doing. But they choose not to enforce those laws. It don't matter if they're Democrat, don't matter if they're Republican. They all on the same team, folks, white supremacy. So with that being said, you will never have peace in a land that's not ran by people that look like you and not focus on oppressing you and subjugating you and mass incarcerating you and harming your children and trying to bring all kind of perversion to your children. You will never have peace in that. I'm telling you this. You can fight tall, you'll get old, gray in the face and die. And then people still gonna be doing the same thing. Y'all like, what's a lot of y'all like to say, choose peace? You can't choose peace in Babylon. That'll never happen. But let me know in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, what you think about the situation with this race soldier. And like I said, this is not the first race soldier we talked about with this. This has been one of many. It's never going to stop because it's in the culture. It's in the culture. They will continue this anti-black hatred because it's just in the culture. It's just that simple. But let me know, and also click the like button. We want you to participate in the class here. You know, we having class all the time on this platform. And make sure you subscribe. It's your first time coming. Don't be a ghost watcher. Subscribe. That way you know exactly when we post a new video.